there, welcome to the Millennial Book Junkie. My name is Monique, and welcome to this next episode of Thriller Watch, where we talk about all the movies, books, events that are coming out in October of 2025 in the thriller genre. This is one of my favorite times of month because I get to dig into all of the thrillers that are coming out in the upcoming month. And I am constantly adding books to my TBR, and it's just such a fun time. So before we start, make sure that you like this video and subscribe if you like the content, and get cozy, get comfy, it's fall, and you're about to learn about a bunch of new thriller books coming out. So there are a ton of good thrillers coming out in October 2025, and while I'm going to be listing nearly 40 of them, I am going to start with the book that I am most anticipating in October 2025, and that is Gone Before Goodbye by Reese Witherspoon and Harlan Coben. This book is coming out on October 14th. And it's about a woman named Maggie McCabe. She's a top army surgeon whose life falls apart after a series of tragedies. She takes a risky job treating a mysterious patient in a luxury hideaway overseas. But when that patient vanishes, she is suddenly caught up in a deadly conspiracy. And now she's on the run, trying to stay alive and uncover the truth before she disappears for good. Now, I am so excited to see how Reese Witherspoon writes. I'm such a big fan of Reese Witherspoon. I've actually not read any Harlan Coben, although I plan to this month, maybe next month. So I'm really excited to see what they put together with this book, and I think it's gonna be so good. If I know Reese, everything she does is really good, and I am just beyond excited about it. So this one comes out October 14th. I wanted to start with this one just because it's my most anticipated. So now we're gonna dive in chronologically, books coming out from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. So coming out on October 1st, we have Dating at the End of the World by Geneva Rose. Now, this book is classified as kind of like a romantic suspense novel. Geneva Rose usually does thriller novels, and I thought thriller fans might be interested in hearing about it. So this one is about an outbreak that turns people into zombie-like creatures. And Casey, our main character, is forced to return home to survive with her father, who she had a really troubled past with. And when she gets there, there's a handsome enemy from her past waiting there with her doomsday prepping father. So while the world may be ending on the outside, it looks like hers is just beginning. Now, I have not had a good past with Geneva Rose, but this one kind of sounds really fun, so I might pick it up. We'll see. The next book coming out in October is The Stranger in Room 6 by Jane Corey. It's coming out on October 7th. This one is kind of like a twisty mystery. It's set in a retirement home that has kind of a dark past. Our main character, Belinda, who is newly released from prison for her husband's murder, is trying to start over quietly. But Sunnyside, which is the retirement home, is not as peaceful as it seems. The oldest resident, Mabel, knows the home's buried secrets, and someone in room 6 is watching them both, determined to uncover the truth no matter the cost. That one comes out October 7th. The next thriller coming out in October is coming out on October 7th, and it is called Secrets of the Blue Hand Girls by Rowana Miller. This one is a dark, twisty school thriller about a woman named Kay, who is a scholarship student at a fancy Manhattan prep school, who gets pulled into a secret society called the Blue Hand Girls. Now, it starts with a mysterious note and a strange initiation, but soon the group is digging into dangerous school secrets, possibly connected to the death of Kay's only friend. Now, as the tasks she's assigned get riskier and riskier, Kay starts questioning everyone around her, including Zola, the girl she is falling for, who might be hiding more than she lets on. And I did read about this book a little bit, and one of the tasks that she gets when she first gets to her locker or wherever at school is to paint her hand blue. So I don't know, I think that's really interesting to like stumble upon a note that just says, paint your hand blue. Like that's just, it's very intriguing. So it's a nice start to a book. This one sounds very interesting. The next book coming out in October is coming out October 7th, and it is called The Night That Finds Us All by John Horner Jacobs. This one is a creepy, sea-soaked horror story about Sam Vines, who is a down-on-her-luck sailor who takes a job delivering a century-old sailboat across the ocean. This kind of already reminds me of Reckless Girls by Paula Hawkins. The pay is great, but the boat, called the Black Watch, is haunted and things start going wrong fast. So Sam is quite the drinker, and as she battles withdrawal and eerie happenings on board, the journey turns into a very terrifying fight for survival on the boat. It is spooky, sharp, and full of dark humor, a haunted house story, but on an open sea. This sounds really creepy. There's something about a horror story on a boat that's really captivating to me. In Rachel Hawkins' Reckless Girls, a group of people go on a boat to like this like isolated island to have a good time. And I really thought the boat scenes were kind of eerie because it was just them and very dangerous and very scary. So the fact that it's kind of like a horror story on a boat sounds really interesting. The next book coming out in October is Final Orbit by Chris Hadfield. This one is coming out on October 7th. This one looks to be more of an espionage thriller. It is book 3 of the Apollo Murders series. And this apparently is really good for those of you who are a fan of like space thrillers, like Project Hail Mary, for instance, because it involves survival 270 miles above the Earth. Also, this book is written by a real astronaut, so that's something. Essentially, it's about a new Apollo mission launching in the 70s to bring the Soviets and America together. But a deadly accident happens on board that changes everything, and the flight controller on Earth, Kaz Zemeckis, who is trying to help the Apollo team survive. So this one sounds very good. I don't really read too many like space thrillers, but I did really like The Martian by Andy Weir. So I really want to read Project Hail Mary, but this one sounds really good, especially if it was written by an astronaut. So good stuff. So the next book coming out in October is called Hole in the Sky by Daniel H. Wilson. It's coming out on October 7th. And this is a thriller written by the author of Robopocalypse. And in this novel, which gives me Interstellar vibes, something very large and unidentified is headed directly for Earth. And a threat forecaster known as the Man Downstairs tells the president first contact is imminent. This thriller is more sci-fi leaning, but it was written by a real threat forecaster for the United States Air Force. And apparently it faces us with questions about non-human intelligence. We love that. The Western mindset, and our entire understanding of reality. This is definitely giving me Interstellar vibes, and now I feel like watching the movie. Our next book coming out in October is coming out October 7th, and it is called Keep This For Me by Jennifer Fawcett. This is a missing person crime thriller about a couple whose car breaks down after a party, and they're picked up by a trucker, that's never good, who ends up attacking the man and abducting the woman. Well, 30 years later, after the trucker is caught and a mass grave of all the people he's kidnapped over the years is uncovered, the woman he abducted from that night of the party isn't there. She's not in the mass grave. And the daughter of that woman is trying to find her. But then history starts to repeat itself and another woman goes missing, leading the daughter on a desperate hunt to find out what happened to her mother before getting herself killed. This one sounds like a really good thriller for sure. Next, we have Photograph by Brian Freeman coming out on October 7th. This one says it's for fans of Frida McFadden and Lisa Jewell, aren't we all? This one is about a private investigator named Shannon who's trying to solve the murder of a woman with a mysterious past. The only clue is an old photo of a little girl in the rain. As Shannon digs deeper, she uncovers long-buried secrets that connect to a cold case and to her own history in ways that she never expected. Okay, this next one I'm very, very excited about because I have heard people talk about it. It is called The Hitchhikers by Chevy Stevens, and it's coming out on October 7th. Also, Chevy Stevens is a new author to me. I have never heard of her, and I'm very, very excited now that she's got some good books that I can't wait to read. So this thriller is about a couple in the 1970s who pick up two hitchhikers who are not what they seem. And while they think they're doing some good, helping these hitchhikers out, they actually end up being trapped as prisoners in a deadly game. I'm telling you, I've heard really good things about this one, and I am instantly going to pick this one up. I also just got a Chevy Stevens book called Those Girls that I've heard is really good. Let me know if you guys have read any Chevy Stevens or if you know of any books by her that you've really, really liked. I would love some Chevy Stevens book recs. Next up, we have The Intruder by the one and only Frida McFadden, coming out on October 7th. This one is about a woman named Casey who finds a bloody girl with a knife outside of her cabin during a hurricane. The girl has a dark secret, because of course she does, one she will kill to keep. and if Casey gets too close to the truth, she may not live to see the morning. Frida keeps putting out these books like hotcakes. I cannot keep up with them. The next book coming out is The Hong Kong Widow by Kristen Loesch. This one is coming out on October 7th. This one is about a young refugee of the Chinese Communist Revolution in the 1950s who takes part in a competition in one of the city's most notorious haunted houses. Okay, you have me with that. Competition in a haunted house? I like that. So the winner of this competition will receive a fortune. But decades after this competition takes place, there is no evidence that this competition ever took place. The police classify it as a collective hallucination, but our main character, May, knows what she saw, and someone now knows what she did that night. So now she has to relive the nightmare of that night all over again to find the truth. This just sounds really good. It sounds very strange. I love like unique, strange stories, and that one just sounds very good. Our next book is Sharp Force by Patricia Cornwell. This is coming out October 7th. For those of you that love Patricia Cornwell, get ready. I have never read any of her books, but this is book 29 of the Kay Scarpetta novels. This one is about a serial killer in Northern Virginia who appears as a ghostly apparition with sophisticated technology before striking. I'm telling you, this technology world, it's really doing things for the thriller genre. Chief Medical Examiner Kay Scarpetta has to avoid becoming the killer's next victim. And this one is actually going to be a streaming series starring Nicole Kidman and Jamie Lee Curtis. I have no idea when that's coming out, but apparently they're making this one into a series. So yay. The next book coming out in October is If the Dead Belong Here by Carson Faust. And this one is coming out October 7th. This one is a haunting Southern Gothic about a missing girl, a grieving family, and the ghosts that will not stay buried. Laurel's older sister Nadine starts having eerie dreams that lead her to believe her sister's disappearance is tied to long-standing family secrets and generational trauma, blending indigenous folklore with emotional suspense. This one is a powerful story about healing, memory, and the mysteries that we carry. Sounds really interesting. I don't know if I've read a lot of Southern Gothic books, but this one sounds interesting. Next up, we have The Picasso Heist by James Patterson and Howard Rowan. This is coming out on October 13th. This one is about a $100 million Picasso painting that was previously unknown and is found in the attic of a French villa. And everyone wants it, from rich art people to power-hungry government officials. And there's only one person who knows how to take the painting. And none of the rival players in this book will ever see her coming. Sounds pretty good. The next book in October is called Fallen Star by Lee Goldberg. It's coming out on October 14th. It is a crime thriller. It is book 6 of the Eve Ronin series, and this involves a body washing up in a drum in a Malibu lagoon and some serious corruption involving several local politicians, including the LA mayor. Eve believes it's because of corruption with the sheriff's office, but then a helicopter crash reveals a connection to her own past that leads her fighting for her life. Thrilling indeed. The next book we have coming out on October 14th is When We Talk to the Dead by Ian Chorao. This one is about a young woman named Sally who returns to the Ihli Island where her family was shattered years ago. She doesn't remember the tragic accident that killed her twin sister, but the nightmares have never stopped. And now, with her college friends in tow, she's hoping to uncover the truth. As memories resurface and something sinister begins to stir, Sally realizes that the island isn't just haunted by the past, it's waiting for her. So I assume she returns to this island where the tragic accident happened to her. Big no-no, Sally. Big no-no. The next book we have coming out is The Unveiling by Quan Berry, coming out on October 14th. This one is a haunting literary horror set in Antarctica. Hello, that sounds cool. Where a Black film scout named Stryker joins a luxury cruise to scout locations, but ends up stranded on a remote island after a tragic accident. As the survivors face brutal conditions and each other's buried secrets, Stryker is forced to confront her own past. This one is eerie, introspective, and full of emotional depth. Less about ghosts in the ice, more about the ones we carry inside. That's deep. The next book we have coming out in October is I'll Quit When I'm Dead by Luke Smitherd, coming out on October 14th. This one is a very dark, twisty horror story about two people trying to fix their lives, but the cost might be their sanity or worse. Madison joins a brutal wellness retreat that starts to feel more like a cult, while Johnny isolates himself to kick his addiction, only to discover something monstrous lurking in his cottage. As their paths spiral deeper into danger, both have to face terrifying choices about what they're willing to sacrifice for transformation. Wowza. This next one sounds so good. The Graceview Patient by Caitlin Starling, coming out on October 14th. This is psychological horror, people. This one is described as misery meets invasion of the body snatchers. It's about a woman who has a rare autoimmune condition, don't we all, that has left her isolated and in pain. So she takes the opportunity for a fully paid for spot in an experimental medical trial, no, at a hospital where she will have her immune system nearly fully destroyed and then regenerated. But while she's there, she finds something very sinister living and spreading within the hospital. Ugh. And she has to figure out what is real and what is medically induced delusion as her body and mind succumb to the darkness of Graceview Memorial. That sounds so good. I need to read that one. I don't know about you, but I am loving all of these books coming out in October. They sound very creepy. Next up, we have The Haunting of Payne's Hollow by Kelly Armstrong. You'll notice I have a theme here, scary books galore. This one is coming out on 10/14. This is supernatural horror about a woman who has to stay at a haunted lakeside property after her grandfather dies because he wants to convince her that her dad, who had taken his life 14 years earlier, was not actually a murderer. He was actually good. So she stays on this property and she is confronted with nightmares and paranoia and all manner of horror until she realizes that something dark lurks within the lake where she's staying. Ooh, yeah. Next up, we have Boomtown by Nick Stone. This is coming out on October 14th. So many books are coming out on October 14th. Make sure to go to your local bookstore on October 14th. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Described as Gone Girl meets P-Valley, which is a show on BET, this is Nick Stone's adult thriller debut about two missing erotic dancers from Atlanta's most notorious gentlemen's club and the woman committed to finding them. Our main character, Lyric, uncovers a web of deceit, privilege, and power, and she has to decide if finding these two women is worth losing her own life over as she explores the peaks and valleys of Atlanta's underworld. Yikes. Next up, we have The Tourists by Christopher Reich. This one is also coming out on October 14th. This is book 2 of the Mac Decker series. Mac Decker is a special agent who is retired who flies to Paris to propose to his girlfriend, but she abruptly leaves the table to take an urgent call and she never comes back. And suddenly, this retired agent is caught in a frantic search, dealing with assassins and terrorists to find his girlfriend and save thousands of lives. Is the girlfriend in on it? I guess we'll have to read it to find out. This one comes out October 14th. This one sounds so good and so different, and I did not imagine these two people pairing up to write a novel, but here we are. This is Remain by Nicholas Sparks and M. Night Shyamalan. Okay, I did not believe Nicholas Sparks to be capable of anything dark. His name alone brings light, so I'm very confused by this. But apparently they've co-written a book, and it is a supernatural thriller with a romantic twist. It follows an architect named Tate who is recovering from grief and depression when he meets a mysterious woman at a Cape Cod bed and breakfast. As they grow closer, he starts uncovering dark secrets about her past, and he realizes that love might be the only thing strong enough to break through the boundaries between life and death. This one sounds very, very interesting indeed. I'm curious to see what a book by M. Night Shyamalan would look like. I have really enjoyed some of his movies. Next up, we have The Gallery Assistant by Kate Belly, and it comes out on October 14th yet again. This one is about Chloe, a gallery assistant in New York who wakes up after a wild party with no memory of how she got home, only to learn the artist who hosted the party has been murdered. As she tries to piece together everything that happened, she's pulled into a tangled web of secrets, lies, and high-stakes art world drama. The deeper she digs, the more dangerous it gets, and the truth might be hiding in her own missing memories. I do love a good story about missing memories. I always found those very cool. Next up, on October 14th, big shocker, we have All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu. This one is a sci-fi thriller about Julia Z. This one is a very interesting one. She's a former teen hacker trying to live off the grid until she's pulled into a wild rescue mission involving virtual reality and a kidnapped dream artist named Ihli. Ihli creates shared dream experiences, but one of her private sessions with the criminal kingpin has put her in serious danger. To save Ihli, Julia has to deep dive into a digital mystery where dreams, identity, and reality all start to blur. So this is book 1, so there'll probably be forthcoming books involving this main character. And because it has to do with dreams, I am instantly thinking of Inception. So this one definitely sounds interesting. Finally, we are out of the October 14th release books. On October 21st, we have The Proving Ground by Michael Connelly. This is book 8 of the Lincoln Lawyer novels. This one is about Mickey Haller, who is the Lincoln Lawyer. He's taking on a huge AI company after its chatbot allegedly encouraged a teen to commit murder. He is representing the victim's family in a high-stakes lawsuit that dives into the dark side of AI and the lack of oversight. With help from a journalist turned researcher, Mickey uncovers a whistleblower and prepares to take a bold risk in court to expose the truth. It's so funny how AI is creeping into like all these thriller plots now. It's going to be very interesting to see what this does for the thriller genre. Next up on October 21st, we have The Sister's Curse by Nicola Salvinick. This one is a creepy small town thriller where mysterious drownings start to surface, and Lieutenant Anne Corey thinks something supernatural might be behind them. As she investigates, whispers of witches, curses, and revenge swirl around the town's most powerful families, with her own dark past catching up to her. Anna has to figure out what's real before she becomes the next victim pulled under. This one definitely sounds interesting. I also love a nice small town thriller. Next up, we have Wild Animal by Joel Dicker coming out 10/21. And it's a domestic thriller that turns into a kind of mystery heist, if you're into that, where apparently no one will emerge unscathed, including the readers. Lucky us. It starts with a very high-profile jewelry heist in Geneva, but the real story starts weeks earlier with a woman named Sophie Braun, whose picture-perfect life starts to unravel on her 40th birthday. Oh no, I just turned 40. As secrets surface and danger closes in, the mystery deepens, linking Sophie, her neighbors, and the heist in ways no one saw coming. Apparently it is fast-paced, it is layered, and full of surprises. Next up, we have Imposter Syndrome by Andrew Main, coming out on October 21st. This one is a thriller about a ritualistic serial killer who preys on influencers on YouTube and TikTok. Oh no. This is book 2 of the Specialists series, and it'll involve 2 investigators who are trying to find the serial killer before they commit one final crime that he is planning for the whole world to see. Next, we have The Midnight Knock by John Fram, coming out on October 21st. I love the cover of this. It is giving me like old school Dean Koontz and also Stephen King. And this one is also a horror novel that sounds like literally it's right out of a Stephen King plot, because it's about a bunch of strangers who, they have dark secrets, of course, and they have to survive the night in a remote Texas motel, not only against each other, but against something very old and dangerous lurking in the corner of the desert. And this thing is hungry. This sounds so good. Also, just so you know, all these books that I'm talking about are going to be listed down below in the description if you want to check them out. Also, since we're kind of at the midway point of the video, don't forget to like this video if you are enjoying this content and subscribe if you want to receive more of it. All right, let's dig back in. Next up on October 21st, we have The Widow by the one and only John Grisham. Now, if the blurb on Amazon is to be believed, this is John Grisham's first whodunit thriller. He usually does legal thrillers, and make no mistake, there are lawyers involved in this one, but apparently it's more of a whodunit. This one is about a small-time lawyer who is accused of murder, but he has to find the real killer to clear his name. And it seems that the main villain behind this one is an elderly woman with a lot of money, and she was one of his clients. And this guy is kind of like a small-time lawyer, so he was really eager to like help this widow, but now he's on trial, and definitely nothing is as it seems. So there you go. I love the cover of this one. This one is The Deadly Book Club by Lyn Liao Butler, and it's coming out on October 25th. Apparently this one is good for readers who are a fan of The Writing Retreat or First Light Wins. I've not read either of those, but I've heard such good things. This one is about a bunch of book influencers who are on a virtual book club when their screens freeze and they hear one of them screaming as they're getting murdered. Afterward, they have to work together to figure out who killed their friend, or one of them will be next. Please don't kill off the book influencers. Where am I supposed to get my book recs from? Next up, we have The Tin Men by Nelson and Alex DeMille. Now, this is the final novel of Nelson DeMille. Unfortunately, he passed away in September of 2024. So he co-authored this book with his son, and it's his final novel. It comes out on October 28th. This is book 3 in the Scott Brody and Maggie Taylor series. And it's a military thriller set in the Mojave Desert where 2 Army investigators are sent to solve the murder of a top scientist involved in secret war games with AI-powered robot soldiers. There's that AI again. As they dig into the case, they uncover a twisted mess of rivalries, cover-ups, and experimental tech that could change warfare forever. So if you're into high-stakes investigations, this one has plenty to keep you turning the pages. Next up, we have She's Gonna Pay from Alexandra Ivy, coming out on October 28th. This is a twisty domestic thriller about a woman named Jessie Hudson who returns to her hometown years after her father vanished, only to find herself tangled in old secrets and, unfortunately, new danger. Her stepmother and stepsister disappeared under highly suspicious circumstances, and now Jessie learns that her stepmother may not even be who she said she was, because she was living under a different name when she disappeared. As Jessie digs into her family past, someone else is watching her, and they're determined to make sure she does not leave town alive. This one sounds really good. Next up, we have 640 to Montreal by Eva Yurchik, coming out on October 28th. This one is about a woman named Agatha who is an author on her way to a writing retreat on a train when it's unexpectedly derailed when the train breaks down. Then one of the passengers dies, and it soon becomes a fight for survival. This one is supposed to be very claustrophobic, deceivingly bloody, with twists and turns until the very last page. If you like a good train thriller, this one might be for you. I wonder if this is similar to With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I have not read it, but I know there was a train involved. Next up, we have a book by another father-son duo. This one is called Coyote Hills by Jonathan and Jesse Kellerman. This is book 6 in the Clay Edison thrillers. This one is about Clay Edison, who is a former coroner turned private investigator who is pulled into a suspicious death that everyone else wants to say is an accident, which we all know it probably wasn't. But basically this guy who, his parents were very wealthy, he turns up dead on a beach, and he apparently has a lot of drugs in his system and a head injury. And as Clay starts digging around into this, he finds way more than he bargained for: secrets, lies, and a case, of course, that is not so simple. This one sounds twisty with some really smart investigators and shady suspects naturally, so seems like a solid pick. And the final book in our list is called Blood Like Ours by Stuart Neville, and it is coming out October 28th. This is book 2 of the Blood series. This is a raw, emotional horror story about a mother who wakes up in a morgue, undead, starving, and desperate to find her daughter. So this mother, whose name is Rebecca, she is on the run. She is trying to resist her violent urges while being hunted by an FBI agent who has a vendetta for her. And meanwhile, her daughter, Moonflower, is surviving in the wilderness, lured there by 2 mysterious brothers who seem to know exactly who she is. and what she has become. As their paths twist toward each other, the story dives deep into grief, love, and the terrifying lengths that a mother will go to protect her child. Apparently, it is brutal, heartbreaking, and full of supernatural tension. Now, let's talk about some of the thriller events happening around the country. And by country, I mean the United States. Hopefully, I'll be able to expand my research and dig a little deeper into other countries, but for now, these events are just in the US. Now, Reese Witherspoon and Harlan Coben will be touring together in New York, Missouri, Los Angeles, South Carolina. They're promoting their new book, Gone Before Goodbye. I wish I could see her in LA, but the tickets were really expensive and also sold out, so of course. If you're a fan of Mary Kubica, she is going to be at the McHenry County College on October 27th in Lake, Illinois. The event is full, it says on the website, but you can also join the wait list and maybe just show up and strong arm your way in there. I don't know. We'll see how these book events go. But she is going to be there, and if you've got a ticket, you are very lucky. Alma Katsu, who I think just came out with a novel called Fiend. I think I mentioned it last month, but she's going to be in Maryland and Santa Monica, California this month. So I'll make sure to link below all the events so you can get all the details. Next up, we have Jimmy Juliano, who is the author of 13 Months Haunted and Dead 11. He is going to be in Madison, Wisconsin on October 9th at a place called Mystery to Me. Next up, we have Nicholas Sparks, who will be making an appearance in North Carolina and Massachusetts this October, specifically October 11th and 12th, promoting his new book, Remain, that he obviously co-wrote with M. Night Shyamalan. This next author, I cannot believe he is making an appearance in New York City. If I've ever wanted to live in New York more, it is right now, and it is R.L. Stine. My millennial friends, R.L. Stine is going to be in New York City on October 11th. He's going to be at the Jacob Javits Convention Center at 12:30 p.m. promoting God knows what, but he's going to be there. And I can't believe it. I'm in shock. If you happen to live in Frenchtown, New Jersey, Rachel Harrison is going to be there promoting Play Nice at a little bookshop called Odd Volumes. Odd Volumes Mercantile. It's going to be on October 1st. For fans of J.H. Markert, who wrote that book Sleep Tight, right behind me, great book, by the way. He also wrote Spider to the Fly. He's going to be at Barnes & Noble in Chicago on October 1st. Lyn Liao Butler, who is the author of The Deadly Book Club, which I was just talking about how much I love the cover, she's going to be in New York promoting her book on October 14th. Christina Henry, who wrote The House That Horror Built and Good Girls Don't Die, I really liked that book, will be in Chicago on October 15th, if you are so inclined and in the area. The one and only Riley Sager is also going to be at the Southern Vermont Arts Center on October 16th. I think he lives in Vermont. It would make sense because I did see that he had this reading event or something in Vermont. I wished I could go, but it sounded very creepy because it was like a weekend in the woods. But yeah, I think he lives in Vermont. So if you're out there, more chances to see him and potentially hang out with him. Clemence Michallon, who wrote recently Our Last Resort, but also The Quiet Tenant. She's going to be at Harrison Public Library in New York on October 18th. Liv Constantine is also going to be at the same library on October 18th in New York. And then we have Chris Whitaker, who's going to be in South Carolina on October 22nd. And John Grisham, if you've ever wanted to meet him, he's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia on October 22nd. Nick Medina is going to be promoting his book, The Whistler, on October 23rd in Illinois. And Noelle W. Ihli, who wrote Gray After Dark, along with many others, but I think Gray After Dark is a really popular one. She's going to be at a Half Price Books in Meridian, Idaho on October 28th. She's going to be promoting her book, Ask for Andrea. Now let's look at the thrillers becoming movies or series this month, because October is the best month ever. It is officially spooky season, and I can't wait for all the spooky movies and series. One of the big ones that's coming to Netflix this month is The Woman in Cabin 10. That's Ruth Ware's novel. It's coming to Netflix on October 10th. I cannot wait. I read that book so long ago, like 10 years ago, it was so long ago. I don't even remember what it was about, but I can't wait to watch the series, and I probably won't reread the book, but I just remember really, really liking that book. And to be honest, I've only read 3 Ruth Ware books, and that was one of my favorites. So I know I've heard some people say that one was not their favorite, but I really like that one. I cannot wait. So that's coming out October 10th. Then you have Regretting You by Colleen Hoover coming out October 24th. I know that's not a thriller, but she's technically kind of a thriller author. Verity is kind of thriller-ish. And her next book coming out is a thriller. So I'm putting her in that thriller people would love to know about her category. So her next movie is coming out on October 24th. I did not read that book, but the movie looks good, so I'll probably go see it. And finally, in October, we have the Welcome to Derry It prequel series coming out on HBO Max on October 26th. You guys, I have been looking forward to this for like 6 months. This is going to be a prequel to the story It by Stephen King, and it's going to be a full-on series, and the trailer looks so good. I cannot wait for this. I wish it was happening tomorrow. So those are all the book to series to movies coming out in October. I know that there can be a lull in those kinds of things, so we'll see how next month looks, but at least we have 3 good ones to look forward to this month. And lastly, let's see what scary movies are coming out this month. And October, hopefully you would think a lot of good ones are coming out, and it does seem that I do want to see at least 2 of these. So Bone Lake is coming out on October 3rd. This one, just looks like it's gonna be just gory and fun more than scary, but we'll see. It's about a couple's romantic vacation at a very secluded lakeside estate, and this vacation is upended when they are forced to share the mansion with another couple. And so apparently it's a darkly hilarious and seductive horror story. A dream getaway spirals into a nightmarish maze of sex, lies, and manipulation, bringing terrifying secrets to light and triggering a bloody battle for survival. The trailer looks a little scary, but this description makes it seem like it's not that scary, so we'll see. The next movie coming out on October 3rd is Good Boy. Currently has 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's by writer-director Ben Leonberg. It is a pooch versus poltergeist kind of story. It is a horror movie involving a dog. I probably won't see it. I'm too sensitive about dogs hurting, even though I'm assuming the dog did not get hurt in this film, but I'm just so sensitive about this. I don't know. But basically, this dog is fighting a poltergeist, some supernatural entity, in order to save, his owner, I would assume. So I don't know. I feel like it's going to be good, but I might be too nervous to see it. Next up, we have Coyotes coming out on October 3rd. I watched the trailer for this one. It looks more funny than scary, but it is kind of gory, so I guess it could fall in the scary genre. But this is about a family who's trapped in their Hollywood Hills home, fighting for survival when caught between a raging wildfire and a pack of savage coyotes. The city loses power and chaos spreads, nature turns feral, and what starts as isolated attacks escalates into a terrifying siege that they may not all survive. This one I think has Kate Bosworth and Justin Long, and it looks more comedy than anything, so we'll see. Next up, we have Shelby Oaks. This one looks very scary. I encourage you to watch the trailer. This one is coming out October 3rd. It's about a documentarian who uncovers a very disturbing new lead in a desperate search for her long-lost sister. And this search falls into an obsession for her. And she comes to believe there is this imaginary demon from childhood involved with her sister's disappearance, but maybe this demon is real. The trailer is very spooky because someone basically arrives at her door and he shoots himself. So very creepy indeed, and sounds like it's right up my alley. Next up, we have The Black Phone 2 coming out on October 17th. I have not seen the first one, but I plan to because this one looks very scary and I've heard good things. So The Black Phone 2 is basically a sequel to the first one. So the first Black Phone movie was actually based on a short story written by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. So Black Phone 2 is about a 15-year-old girl named Gwen who receives calls from a black phone and sees very disturbing visions. about boys being stalked at a winter camp. And she's accompanied by her brother Finn, and they head to the camp to solve this mystery, only to confront the grabber, who is a killer who's grown even more powerful in death. So I didn't see the first one, but I mean, these sound really scary, so I need to see them. So this one is coming out October 17th. Have you seen the first one? What did you think? The next one is a very much anticipated one, and it is Frankenstein, coming out on October 17th. Now, this is directed by Guillermo del Toro, so it's probably going to be very, very good. It's going to be in limited cinemas in October and then streaming in November. So October 17th is when it comes out. The trailer looks really good. Clearly, it's based on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and I don't know if there's many adaptations that are going to be this good, but we'll see. So this one is coming out on October 17th, and it has a really great cast. Oh my gosh. Christopher Waltz, Oscar Isaac is playing Victor Frankenstein. Also, Mia Goth is in this. I really liked her in Pearl. I have to watch those other movies. But anyway, this looks to be very good. Next up, we have Dream Eater. And this is coming out October 24th. I believe it's an Eli Roth movie, but it's about a filmmaker who documents her boyfriend's sleepwalking. And it's very violent, apparently. And so they are on a holiday in a cabin in the woods that is remote because, of course, and his sleepwalking gets really bad. And so the girlfriend kind of suspects the cause might be something more sinister. So she kind of uses her expertise as a documentary filmmaker to dig into Alex's past and unravel some like trauma and some, I don't know, occult stuff. And then darkness closes in and an ancient evil awakens. And then the couple is plunged down a downward spiral of madness and horror that threatens to destroy more than just their relationship. This trailer is very scary. It is like, I think it's like one of those found footage type of movies. That's what it looks like. It reminds me of Paranormal Activity. And it looks very scary and absolutely like something that I want to watch. So those are some scary movies that are coming out in October. Do you plan to see them? I didn't list all the movies coming out in October, just kind of the ones that looked interesting. So let me know if you're going to see those. Let me know what books you're planning to read in October from this list, if any. And I will certainly keep you posted on any books that I read that were in this list. So that's it for this episode of Thriller Watch. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to the end. And if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will be talking about more thrillers soon. Just you wait, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.